Well. With all the negativity in the world today, I thought, you know what? Let me throw some fuel onto the fire and bring some negativity of my own like no one else can. And today, we're going to be talking about my favorite, my greatest, my most successful hate watches in the past 2 years, in 2024, 2025 so far. It's not a complete list. It's not a complete list. A better hate watch might pop up. You know what I mean? It might not be on this list. But we're gonna get straight into it. We're gonna start off with some honorable mentions. Honorable mentions. We have 3 fights. Well, technically 2 and a fighter. Okay. We got Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van. We got Jose Aldo's retirement fight. And then we got anytime Dan Ige steps into the octagon. Because if you know me, if you know anything about me, I'm not a Dan Ige guy. I'm not a Dan Ige guy. I don't like the way he fights. I don't like the way he looks. And I don't like that he's always on main cards. Now, some of you might be asking, yo, why is a Jose Aldo fight on here? I wanted him to lose. There's nothing else I can tell you. I wanted Jose Aldo to lose that fight. Do you want to know why I wanted Jose Aldo to lose that fight? I can tell you. Jose Aldo does not get off the cage. Multiple fights he's lost. People keep spamming takedowns, and that's cool and all. But then they just hold him on the cage. Like against, what was his name? Mario Bautista. You know, Jose Aldo got held on the cage. You know, Mario Bautista, he's a smudger, right? He was smudging him. Jose Aldo, been in the game. How long has Jose Aldo been in the game? Jose Aldo doesn't know how to get up off the cage. Listen, I'm not a fighter, so I don't know. You know, he probably couldn't do it then. But man, someone had to retire him. His career needed to be done. And this random guy I don't know did it for me. And then we got Joshua Van, Brandon Royval. You know, it wasn't really a hate watch of sorts. You know, I'm just a big Joshua Van guy, and I'm not really that much of a Brandon Royval guy. With that being said, we're gonna get into the juiciness, and starting off with the first hate watch on this list. You know, the least on the scale of all of them that are here today. Gene Silva versus Bryce Mitchell. Now listen, this was good at the time because I needed Bryce Mitchell to lose. It was good to see him get submitted. You know what I mean? His forte. It was good to see it happen. And this would be a much higher hate watch if, you know, I like Gene Silva. You know me. If you know anything about me, I'm a big Fighting Nerds hater. Listen, I'm going to stand on that forever. I'm a Fighting Nerds hater. No fighting nerd will ever get my respect. You know, respect to you for fighting, but you won't get my respect as a, you know, you're a fake nerd. And I just don't think you guys have it like that in the sport. You know what I mean? You guys are good. You guys are like top 10 contender worthy guys. But stay away from my belts. That's all I have to say about this one. Stay away from my belts. Stay out of my title fights. And take off those fucking glasses. I mean, if you need them to see, that's cool. But y'all, I'm gonna need y'all to stop going around, you know, jacking nerd. Pause. I'm gonna need you guys to stop going around false claiming nerds. Stolen valor. No, you're just guys that wear glasses and fight, and that's cool. Be that. Be yourselves. That's all I have to say for this one. We're getting into some better ones. This is a good one. RDR versus Bo Nickel. Listen, if you know anything about me, I'm a RDR supporter and a well-known, very very vocal Bo Nickel slanderer. If I can do anything in this world, it's wake up, eat, breathe, and slander Bo Nickel. And listen. There's nothing against Bo Nickel the person. Bo Nickel just isn't as hyped up as they make him to be. And he might get there. But I was seeing this guy on main cards versus Joe Pyfer. What was I watching? Why was I seeing that? You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that, but why was I seeing that? I didn't agree to that. We didn't agree to that. They didn't ask us anything. They didn't say, yo, y'all want this? We didn't say, yeah. I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate Bo Nickel's style. His striking irks me. The way he just stands there and then, you know, he just throws power shots. Now listen, RDR is not the most technical fighter himself. You know what I'm saying? He's not a very technical fighter on his own. But it's better than seeing Bo Nickel spam overhands like he's playing UFC 5. Enough to say about that. Bo Nickel was a fraud. On to the next one. We're getting better. Leon Edwards versus Sean Brady. Now, this one would also be higher, but due to circumstances, you know, I was outside in the real world. I missed the middle of this fight. But I saw the beginning. And I saw the ending. If you know me, this was supposed to be Makako Gary, right? It was supposed to be him. Supposed to be him. But he took another fight to help me out in another hate watch. But this was also good because I got to see Leon Edwards lose. I've got to see him lose twice. I got to see him get dominated by my boy Bilal Muhammad. Got to see him get dominated by him. And then got to see him get finished by Sean Brady on a fight night, bro. You know what I mean? Going slowly going more down the rankings. And that's good for the sport. Nothing against Leon Edwards, the person. You know what I mean? I'm not doubting his skill as a fighter. He's a very elite fighter. But the sport would be better if he's not up there in the rankings or champion. And you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm also not that big of a Sean Brady guy for this to go up higher. But you know what I mean? Thank you for subbing Leon Edwards. On to the next one. Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev 1. Now listen, this would have been so much better, but this was a very stressful hate watch. Because I'm going to be honest, going into the fight, I was very confident in my boy to get his belt and take it from this fraud. You know what I mean? This emote spammer, you know what I mean? This aura merchant. It was good to see him take the belt from him. But I'm not going to lie. I was not trusting my boy. I was not trusting him. I'm not going to lie. He was out there failing takedowns. You know what I mean? He stunned Alex, made him fall up against the cage. But that was about it. You know what I mean? He just was out there point fighting, failing takedowns, but making me proud. You know what I mean? Had me screaming like I was Khabib on the side of the cage. But he got it done when it needed to be done. Listen, if you know me, Alex Pereira slanderer. You know what I mean? Hey, bro. Someone has to slander these people, and I'm going to be the one to do it. Someone has to slander them. And my boy Magomed Ankalaev took him out in the first fight. And that's why he's on this list. And that's really all I have to say about this. We're going to talk more about this specific matchup very soon. On to the next one. And the next one, I mentioned this earlier. Carlos Prates versus Ian Machado Gary. And listen to me when I tell you. As a Carlos Prates slanderer, proud Carlos Prates slanderer. And I'm not an Ian Gary guy either. It was good to see Ian Gary beat Carlos Prates for 4 rounds and then see Ian Gary get bent over and arched up in the 5th round on the national stage. The biggest on the big stages. Man, it was good to see. I won twice that night. I won twice that night. It went very well for me. Carlos Prates loses, and I'm not an Ian Gary fan, but someone had to win, and I'd rather it have been Ian Gary than Carlos Prates. But at the same time, with all that being said, Carlos Prates had Ian Gary arched in the octagon in front of his wife, in front of her boyfriend and their child, in front of the fans, in front of his team. He was arched up, bent over for Carlos Prates in the 5th round. And, in the same way, it's kind of bad he won that. Because, he's walking around, I went toe-to-toe with the boogeyman of the fucking division. And, we need less of that. We need more taking accountability. We need taking accountability. What was your response to being arched up in the octagon? Listen, you did not get finished, and I'll give you credit for that. But what is your excuse for being arched up in the octagon on the big stages? There's not many ways you can make up for that. But I won twice this night. This was a very, very good hate watch. If I can rank it, I'll give it a 9. I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. Great. Glorious. And then we get to even better. On the list of hate watches, this ranks number 1. No explanation needed. I got to see Colby Covington not only get quite embarrassed in that octagon, in that fight night main event. He did his walkout. He did all his antics. All for naught. In front of his peers, in front of his, I don't know if he has a wife, probably in front of his wife. He was physically unable to finish the fight. And listen, you might say, bro, what the fuck's wrong with you? You know what I mean? Fuck him. This was great to see. Joaquin Buckley did me a big favor. And, I'll thank him for that. Oh, man. Tingling to my bones, reliving the hate watch. Oh, man. Feels really good. Feels really good. Feels really good. And if you thought that was the end, if you actually thought that was the end, if you actually thought that was the end of this video and what I had to say, you're wrong. Because the real #1 hate watch in this video to be announced, to come soon. It will be here and you will feel it. Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev 2. Listen, today I'm going to tell you, I'm going to put it out into the world. We will starch Alex Pereira in the octagon the next time we meet. We will starch him. We have learned his moves, and we will starch him. We will send him out of our light heavyweight division, and we will hold it down. We will hold it down. We will send Alex Pereira away, go up another weight class. You know what I mean? We are sending him away. We will be doing this. You thought the video was over. You thought Joaquin Buckley, Colby Covington was #1. No. This will be #1 coming soon to a town near you. Main event, UFC 320. You will be there. You will be watching, and you will be proud. You will stand up and applaud when we shut Alex Pereira out 50-44. We're not going to fail our takedowns. We're going to get control. We're going to starch him on the feet, and we will not get knocked out. You can come back to this at any point. We will not be losing to Alex Pereira, UFC 320. We will not. That's all I have to say right here. That's all I have to say. Get mogged by Big Ang, king of the light heavyweight division. Very soon, 2-0 on Alex Pereira, king of the light heavyweight division. Future GOAT of light heavyweight. Not John Jones, not DC, not Alex Pereira. Us. Enough being said. See you another time.